So, just because our introduction to you was DJing,
Yeah.
I think that'd be a good place to start.
Sure.
How did you get into DJing?
I won't even give y'all the childhood stuff, like the early stuff.
Oh, man.
Like the first time I was ever on Techniques or whatever, I think I was like 12 years old. My best friend is 3 years older than me. He had like a paper route or something at that time. Maybe I was even younger. I was not even 12. I was probably like 10 or 11.
Damn.
He had a paper route and he wanted to save up for Techniques. And he did that. And then we used to go to his crib and I could never get it. Like I love music, grew up on hip hop, but I could never get it. It wasn't good in any capacity. Fast forward to 2012, my brother started a day party uptown called Brunch Bounce. And then so now I'm every once a month I'm surrounded by all my homies that are DJs.
Oh.
And me being the young 31-year-old at that time, not to age myself, but I was just a lot more braggadocious and I would talk a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? So I used to tell them all the time because of my like just innate love for music, because I used to write raps, I used to produce, all that, whatever. Right? I'm like, I know music. So I used to tell them during their sets, y'all lucky I'm not a DJ because I would smoke you. And I would say this to them on a regular basis. So one day, one of them, who actually ended up being one of my mentors, when I said that to him mid-set, he took his headphones off and said, here. And I chickened out. I was like, oh, fuck no.
Wow.
Right? Hell no.
Right.
Mid-set,
Got
like,
cold.
just get on? I was like, nah, that was his way of shutting me up.
Pressure.
Then another homie who I actually really looked up to, you know, as a DJ or whatever, he's a really good human, but as a DJ, he told me one day, he said, my bad, he said, yo, why don't you start DJing? He was like, you have an ear for music. So it almost became a bucket list thing. It actually did become a bucket list thing. I had two things on my bucket list. I've been driving manual cars since I was 12 years old. But he was like, my bucket list was learn how to ride a motorcycle, right? Like I know it in practice, but actually get on a bike and do it, and DJ once in front of people. That was my bucket list. And I fucking bombed.
Ooh.
I put up an IG post about this too, saying this story, but I bombed. I practiced for 2 weeks for a half an hour set at Output in the Panther Room. It was me and two other homies. We were each gonna get a half hour. So the first hour and a half was us three, and the three of us actually started learning on the same day, in the same crib, being taught by the same person.
Damn.
I fucking bombed, yo.
Ooh.
I don't know how. I played 22 songs in 30 minutes, and it was a total disaster.
What was that like? That experience that right after you got off a stage and you just realized I really stunk this shit up.
You know what? I don't know if it was that moment, like any particular moment, but I knew that after that, the question was, do you give up or do you get better and go?
Yep.
Right? The other thing is that a little bit after that, a couple weeks after, well, maybe like that was in September because that was my brother's birthday. A few weeks before that, we were at my boy's, damn, and if she sees this, she's gonna be like, dang, you're never gonna let that go. We were at my boy's fiance, then girlfriend's parents' house, little upstate, right? And we're chilling. He brought his controller with him and speakers, so we're all on the deck sitting at this large patio table, right? And he's like, yo, he's telling one of my boys, he's like, yo, get on. But he gave him a full-on tutorial, how to use the shit, everything, right? And I'm watching the whole thing. So half an hour goes by, 40 minutes, he smoked it, whatever, he did his thing. We were like, oh, he can actually spin. He's like, you want to get on? I was like, yeah. My man goes, yo, there's play, and walks away.
Wow.
The dude whose controller it is, right? And this is my homie. I was just with him last night, too. So I was like, wow. Yo, I'm like 5 minutes in. His girl is sitting like across from me or something, in whatever direction. And I look up. I swear, I'm like 3 records in. And she looks at me dead in my face and she goes, yo, you fucking suck.
Damn.
Right?
Oh, man.
And yo, at that moment, I was like, I never want to hear that shit again.
Right.
And I never want to feel that again.
Right.
So then comes the joint at Output, and it was like, nobody said it to you, but you know.
You feel it.
You know you didn't do your thing.
Right.
Right? And now it was like, do you take it serious and go, or do you just say, fuck it, this is not for me?
And we know where the answer to that was.
Yeah. 6 years later, 7 years later this year, still DJing.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful,
So
man.
I have a question. How did you?
My bad for the long-winded answer.
Nah, we
but
love it.
that's
We
the
love it.
story. That's the story.
Nah,
you know?
it's an interesting story. What about like what made you decide on Play the Music? How did?
Okay, that's a good question. So